Hello. So today we are going to go over another game. If you saw the last video, so yesterday's video was talking about reroll Lux. Here I want to show Vertical Arcanist and how strong it is. So Arcanist +1 was always very strong. I've played 8 Arcanists and I've gone in first, like even last patch. If you have an Arcanist +1, it's generally uncontested and it's very strong. The problem is specifically with Syndra, because Syndra is very contested, so it's hard to play around Syndra. So typically you wanted to reroll either Lux or Zoe, and it was like hidden. I wouldn't say it's hidden tech. Some people have done it, but it's definitely now with AP Kale, like after the most recent changes where AP Kale exists, people are playing like Vertical Storyweaver with Zoe carry and are finding a lot of success because of like the Kale giving so much AP to the Zoe and doing so much AP damage themselves. So you'll probably see this a lot more. What I'm talking about is not the Storyweaver version of Zoe, which I will try out at one point in my lifetime, but this version is just, you basically play Vertical Arcanist. If you hit Lux, you play around Lux. If you hit Zoe, you play around Zoe. If you hit Syndra, you play around Syndra until you make it to level 9, and then you play around Lysandra, right? That's the idea. 8 Arcanists, even though it's not like a prismatic, it is very strong because everybody has like huge one-shot potential. So even upgraded 2 stars, like even a Lux 2 with some items will just go nuts. It'll be crazy. So it was always it was always kind of good. It just got a lot more stable now in the mid game because they buffed the middle Arcanist. Like they buffed I think 4 and 6 Arcanists. So people are now trying it out and they're noticing, like, whenever something gets buffed, everybody's like, oh, let me try it out. And now people are getting a lot more success. Let me just fix up my pen a little bit thinner. There we go. So I just take Wandering Trainer here. I consider Drop Blossom, but the thing is, like, this is kind of bait. I'll do a Drop Blossom video. Drop Blossom is a very first or 8 kind of comp. So I hit Arcanist and Altruist, right? So Altruist is also really good because 4 Altruist just gives you a shit ton of armor. But I have Arcanist, so I'm kind of enabled to play Vertical Arcanist, right? I still think Vertical Arcanist is strong even without the emblem if you have 6 Arcanists. As you saw yesterday, I showed you the Lux build. And I was talking when you're going for Lux 3, you could just swap and play Zoe 3 if you hit more Zoes because you're rolling on 7, or if you hit Syndra 2, you can play around Syndra. And the idea is that, like, whenever you roll, whether you roll on, you usually want to roll on 7 with any of these Arcanist comps, stabilize on 7 and then go straight to 9 basically. If you can't, then whatever. The reason is that with the Arcanist comp, you're pretty much always playing around Amumu and Alawi as your frontline tanks, right? It's always like Amumu Alawi, and they're both 3 costs. So in general, if you can, you want to 3-star them just so you have like a solid tank, even if you don't 3-star the backline. If you can't 3-star them, then you need to 2-star them at least, so you're gonna roll on 7 to have the best odds of those. And you don't really care that much about hitting the Syndra or the Lysandra because you can play without them, right? You can play with just 1 copy and you don't have to itemize unless you high roll it. So that's like the general tempo, the general idea, right? So it's like, I'll put it here, roll on 7, right? You can slight roll on 6 if you're playing around Lux, but not necessarily the best. Here I put in Alawi. Just give me Ghostly, and she has Arcanist buffs, but I think that's fine. Just watch these fights. I just have something processing in case you hear some of my computer whirring on my microphone. I just take the AP When Ari shows up, you can take AP or HP, but I'm just like, fuck it, everybody's gonna be a demon. They're all gonna one-shot everybody. Here I swap in and sell the Malphite. I should swap and sell the Malphite. So I want to make Econ, right? So that's why you should swap in and sell the Malphite, because it doesn't matter if I lose the fights, because I'm already on 2 lose streak, but I do want to make 10. And if I don't make 10, it will be a problem. Oh, come on. Okay, I'm so dumb sometimes, but that's because I'm usually playing late at night. I'm just making huge, overwhelming mistakes. Alright, there we go. Make 10. I got there eventually. It's also a lot easier when you're VOD reviewing, like when you're watching somebody play, there's so much less than you're thinking about. Because even though like lapses in judgment in TFT happen a lot, just from like small distractions and stuff, right? Like right now I'm very focused on watching like every second of the VOD, and I have like, not only do I have the hindsight of what I was thinking while I was playing the game, I also can look at it and analyze it objectively. When you're playing the game, you're thinking like, do I have to scout? Who am I playing? How much time is left? Do I put my units in? Do I do and you know, you fail, right? And that's like a big part of TFT, is being able to like manage all of the things. And like if you had way more time, right? I think also hindsight plays a key role, because I kind of know how some of the fights end up because I remember them. So then I can kind of hindsight say, oh, it was better to do this when I'm thinking. So that's why the VOD reviews are always good. A lot of the channel content, by the way, is going to be kind of like this for the next weeks or so, because I'm really not enjoying the patch. I've kind of talked about it. I try and be cheery, but I hate this meta. If you've watched my videos in the past, I always complain when there is not a good 4-cost meta. Right now, it seems like even with the patch update, it seems like all the reroll comps are still very strong. They're still top 4able and they're still very strong. And the 4 costs, I tried playing around Ashe, it wasn't that strong. Kai'Sa is a very high roll position because you have to have like the Story Weaver build going. You can't just like say I'm gonna play Kai'Sa. You can play Kai'Sa with bruisers, don't get me wrong, but it's like rolling on 8, you need to like get to level 9 to properly fit in your board with Kai'Sa, I feel. Or you need to like high roll a Zyra, or else you just don't have the damage. She's a very situational champion to play, and I feel like it's very high roll, because if you have like the conditions for it, you can't necessarily like force into it, because a lot of times like you just miss on 8 and then you're screwed. And then what's it called, the other 4 costs are just like there's 2 situational that you need to be in a very high roll position, because you need to not only be rich enough to go 8, you have to be rich enough to go 8. You have to hit on 8 early, because you have to cap your board out around 9 anyways, because you never want to roll deep on 8, it feels like, in the current game situation. Also, this is like, you know, I'm in Emerald still. I kind of have no motivation to like get better, because I'm just not having fun. So, but like, you know, consider me like Emerald, so a little bit worse than what I'm usually able to play. So maybe I have like the wrong read on everything anyways. But it feels like, you know, in 2-1, if you don't have like a really strong opener, this is how I feel, right? When I play the game, if I have a strong opener on 2-1 that I think I can win out on stage 2, I feel like, bet I can go 9 and I'll win out. And then you go 9 and then it's like a 50-50 if you hit the 5 cost. But like it feels good anyways, right? Because even if you miss the 5 cost, like, well, that was a fun game, you know. I had a good mid game, right? I started with a faded opener, I started with a Story Weaver opener. Or you're just forcing a reroll because all the rerolls are really strong. So there's like this gap where there's no like middle of the pack where it's like, oh, if you're not rich enough to go 9 and you don't have a reroll opener, it's like, well, I guess I just lose because I'll get out capped by everybody by going 8, right? And it's like, if I go 8, I'm just hoping that the rerollers miss, and they never do, because I don't know, or like, you know, they don't miss in time. So I just don't find it very fun, because I like to make like flexible creative boards. I would love to play like, ooh, like I can't wait to go 8, and like you know, like even last set when it was like kind of toxic and it was like Heartsteel flex or AD flex or AP flex, there was always like, I'll go 8, and depending on what I hit, like if I hit an AP unit, I'll play an AP unit. If I hit an AD unit, I'll play an AD unit, and you can kind of flex around it, right? Beginning of the patch, I really like Warden flex. Anyways, I'm 6 Arcanist already, just putting that out there. I'm kind of talking over because this stage kind of plays itself out. I'm just kind of like win, lose. And I'm just trying to give like, you know, some interesting insight to the game, and then we'll talk back about the gameplay once it gets exciting. But anyways, what was I saying? Like, I really like playing like 4 Warden, and then if I hit a Kai'Sa, I play Kai'Sa. If I hit an Ashe, I play Ashe. Like, those were my very early videos. The problem now is, like, I tried playing Ashe as soon as, like, she just got buffed, and I tried playing her. She was not very good. Like, I got railed by Ghostly. I got railed by fucking Bard. I got railed by all the things that were still railing people last patch. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I can't play flex between Kai'Sa Ashe. And then if you have the Kai'Sa setup, the Kai'Sa setup is very specific with, like, trick shots. So it's like, well, if you hit Kai'Sa and you're playing around snipers, then, like, you know, it's hard to play around both of them because they're not individually strong. It's like Kai'Sa is situationally strong and Ashe is situationally strong, which just means that you're playing Faded. And it's like the other carries, it's like there's a one-off, right? It's like, oh, I have to hit, like, you know, you can't swap out a Lilia for a Morgana, and you can't swap out, like, a Morgana for a Syndra. It's like if you're playing Syndra, it's like you need to be playing 5 Faded, it feels like. If you're playing Lilia, you need to be playing like the Mythic Invoker line. And that makes it like there's not like a good flex play. It's how it feels. And maybe it will change, and maybe I'm just bad, maybe I'll improve and I'll find the angle to play it. But it just feels like, ugh. Anyways, I have a Lux here. So what did I do with Lux? I'm kind of item holding Lux. I'm not necessarily playing Lux carry right now, but I do have a Lux 2 with 6 Arcanist, so I'm like, oh, bet. I'm just gonna do this for the time being, right? Which, if you saw the previous video, it's pretty good. So here, I'm highly considering Shock Treatment. I am a big believer in Shock Treatment. I was also last patch as well, or sorry, last set as well. I think Shock Treatment is one of those augments where it's like situationally very good, but you never take it in certain situations. You never take it unless you're playing something where everybody is AD, right? So Static Shiv, I really like. Now, why do I love Static Shiv so much? Because Static Shiv does shred, but also shreds the back line, right? And something like a Morello, unless you have a unit that hits the back line, or like a Spark, which just hits the front line. I love having Shiv, because, especially in this comp, because Lux can randomly snipe the back line. The random ricochets from Zoe, like the extra bounces that she has, can snipe the back line. So you just want to have the shred kind of spread itself. And the Static Shiv does that. It like randomly hits some of the backline units, and then they take more damage, and that really helps your whole team comp. Bless me. I had to sneeze, sorry. So it's very fun. Sorry, I'm just doing a YouTube upload in the meanwhile, so that everything is on time. Also, sorry I haven't been playing on stream. I'm playing a lot off stream, but that's just because I'm so sad and tilted with the patch that I feel like it's not good stream content, because you'll probably just hear me bitching a lot. And I feel like these VOD reviews, I'm in a much better mood when I do them, and I'm a lot happier and cheerier. I think that makes for better content on the YouTube. But let me know if you guys want the live streams to come back. I will just do it, but I think, you know, for sake of this, there's no real reason for me to do them. Anyways, I'm level 6. I have this dummy. So I could also just play our Altruist at one point. If we look, there's a Bard reroller, there's a Ghostly / Ink Shadow player, and there is a now the Ghostly comp is actually even more annoying, I find, because if you don't hit the Ghostly units, you can just play Vertical Ink Shadow, because they buffed Ink Shadow a lot, so now Vertical Ink Shadow is really strong. So it's just like, it just became like another, like, it feels like the only thing that happened in the patch, in the last patch update, is that they basically added like 2 or 3 new reroll comps and changed nothing else, which makes me like the patch even less. But, you know, I'll wait till it plays out. Maybe it does play out in the small buffs they did to like Morgana and Ashe, make it so that 4 costs are way more playable. Or at least it balances it out, that there's like an option to play around 8 instead of just being forced to hope that you have enough gold and health to make it to 9 if you don't have a reroll. Anyways, here is Carousel. I don't know what I want. Probably just, yeah, it's probably just a rod. I think this is the game where I make a bunch of duplicate items, which is just so bad. But I think this is one of my first games back after a long break. I think I just put Morello on Zoe. typically with Zoe and Lux, you want to build the same way, which is that you want to build very like AP and like one shot, right? So you want like Rabadons, right? You want JG, like a Jewel Gauntlet. You want Nashers. Like Nashers, I've heard isn't that great in the meta, but Nashers is really strong when you have an AP unit because it basically gives like a bunch of AP as well as attack speed, so they kind of just go nuts. Right, and if you have like somebody who's single targeting slash trying to one shot, it's just very good because they basically just pump out damage in a specific spot. Anyways, so losing to Story Weaver, that's fine. This guy's board is really strong because he has pumping up as well as he has a Story Weaver emblem. I'm kind of playing for late game, right? If you have an Arcanist emblem, so if you have Arcanist +1, you typically want to go, you typically don't care about reroll specifically as much as you care about getting to 8 Arcanist, which means finding a Lysandra. So you want to get to that level 8-9 territory. You do want to upgrade, so you probably want to slight roll on 7. I don't know how deep you want to roll on 7, but stable enough that you can make it to 9, right? Or at least make it to 8 and then like sit a little bit, you know, like try and like win out with like a bunch of frontline units. But it's basically just very, very strong. So here I should like here this guy placed his Ari on the opposite side, but I don't think it will work out for him because the Ari's gonna die. And now I think my Lux has a clear shot at the Aphelios. Oh, never mind. The Kindred moved out of the way. Oh well. I'm losing a couple fights here. It is kind of scary that I'm low health, so I probably have to commit to reroll, right? The chances are I need to hit like a Zoe 3 and or a Syndra, so I probably have to roll very deep on 7. I wouldn't be surprised if I rolled to like near 0 on 7. This is just how it worked out, right? I didn't natural any frontline upgrades, right? Even if I had a Nico 2, I'd probably be a lot more stable. I didn't natural Lux 2, didn't natural a Zoe 2. I should have maybe itemized the Ari, but the problem with itemizing the Ari is then I would have to sell her to transfer the items if I don't have a remover. I'm just positioning here because I'm scared that one of these guys is going to die to wolves. It's really hard to lose to wolves, but I'm not taking any chances because my team kind of sucks. I get a tier, which is great. And I get, so here, I probably just want to make another Shiv. Even though I already have Shred, the Shiv Augment does extra damage, right? The later in the game it is. So I'm down to just repeatedly Shiv everybody, right? And just have everybody just do a shit ton of damage, right? Because it's better than my other option, which is Hodge, right? I don't think Hodge does much for my team. So here you can see I leveled to 7, I'm rolling because I don't want to lose any HP. I don't really hit anything, right? I have a singular Lux, so I'm definitely not playing Lux carry. I have Zoe Pair, which I did finally upgrade, which is nice. So now I might be stable because I have a Laui 2, I have an Amumu 1, but I do have a Zoe 2. So we'll see how stable I am. It's just enough to stabilize to rebuild my econ, and then I can decide if I resend it. So if I'm going to reroll on 8, reroll on 7 and try and stabilize around my units, or if I'm just going to go straight to 9, right? Like if I win out on this stage because people are playing super greedy, then I'm going to go 9 or go 8 and then try and go 9 to try and match people. But if I don't like hit that, then you know it is what it is. Anyways, I just did Call to Chaos. So far, Call to Chaos has not griefed me. It griefed me one time, actually. This game, it gives me 3 snipers focuses. Now, what do I do with 3 snipers focuses, you may ask? Well, guess what? Lux does damage, shoots the furthest unit, right? So what if I just triple snipers focus Lux? No mana item. Fuck it. I don't know if this was the play, but this just looks cool. Doesn't this look badass? Look at this shit. I have Lux 2 triple snipers, Anyways, I'm rolling on 7 because I don't think I'm stable. I roll for the Lux 2. Now I hit the Lux 2. Look at this shit. Ready? Look, 240 damage. Watch this. Watch this. Ready? 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 Check this out. This is a Lux 2, by the way. Bang! Fucking dead. Where she's dead. She's dead. This guy was not ready, right? I don't think this guy scouted, but he just like he queued into this game. I definite instantly because I'm like I don't need to talk because people are gonna start pinging, right? But so I think snipers is Biss on Lux. I think one time she's also a really good holder of a sniper emblem. If you're rerolling like sniper and you just want to play, if you're playing like porcelain build and you happen across a sniper emblem, I know it's very situational, but it's happened once in PvE. I did sniper emblem with sniper's focus, and I put on Lux because the sniper build you're typically playing Ash anyways, so Lux is porcelain, and you can just play around porcelain for sniper, porcelain warden for snipers. So Lux is a great holder of it because she always targets the furthest unit, so it guarantees that she does like a bunch of damage. It doesn't even matter that she gets a 30% reduction hitting a unit because she does so much damage that she just one-shots the dude anyways. Ready? Let's watch this. Ready? Bang! Now typically it's a little bit overkill. You probably want to have one mana item on her. The problem is I don't think I'm ever hitting Lux 3, and I don't know if I kind of decided that I didn't want to like remake the Zoe. Right, if I didn't put the Shiv on the Zoe like earlier, like if I had one spare spot on Zoe, I would put one sniper on Zoe, I'd put one mana item on Lux and like switch it around a little bit. But the problem is it's like I can't really do anything about it because I'm not gonna be rolling for Lux. I'm trying to go 9 because of 8 Arcanists. So I don't have somebody to item hold the snipers. I'm not going to put on Ari because Ari might not come back and then I won't be able to hit 8 Arcanist. Here I really want the Syndra with the bow, which I don't get. So I'm going to grab this Spat with a bow. I hate this Teemo augment, by the way. It griefs so many times. The good thing is with Arcanist is one of those comps where it really wants a porcelain emblem because you're going to play Lysandra anyways and then you're going to be 3 porcelain. So you might as well get an extra porcelain emblem and just put it on like a Laui. And you're fine because porcelain, it does attack speed, which is really good for backline, but it also reduces damage, and putting that on your front line is insane. So I put the porcelain emblem probably on the Alawi here because Alawi is probably the first unit that I'll 3-star if I 3-star anybody, and she'll be good. Anyway, what I was talking about with the Lux is a bit of diminishing returns to just put 3 snipers. It's obviously a meme, but in this spot I don't think there was much different of an option because I don't have another mana item and I don't want to remake the Zoe. I could have just like sold, like I used remover on Lux and then I put the mana item on the Zoe. I could have sold Lux, item remover on Zoe, put one sniper on Zoe and the other thing. It's just sniper is kind of unreliable on Zoe. I'd rather just like do this. Anyways, this guy lived with 32 HP. That's his, you know, if I had Lux 3 in this spot, I'm just saying it was an insta win out. Even without a mana item on the Lux, but you know, it is what it is. It's totally okay. I'm thinking if I should hold this Ash, which I don't think I do. I might still roll deep on 7. See, the thing about 8 Arcanists that's really great is that your front line is pretty good, that you don't really need, like if you have a +1 especially, like if I have this target dummy, you have a really good front line anyways because Alawi is a really good tank with the Amumu. And you're playing a Nico, which is another unit that's up front as a tank. So you do have enough front line, and because you have so much AP, your backline is very strong, so the fights don't last very long. As you can see here, right, this was a fairly long fight, but I'm only 6 Arcanists. When I'm 8 Arcanists, all my units are going to do so much damage that the front line starts to matter less, and there's enough front line there that it's good. Right, like there's other versions of comps where sometimes it feels really bad. Here I'm 1 off Alawi, so I'm probably just gonna roll deep on 7 now. Because I just natural 2 Alawis in this one shot. What I'm trying to say is that like if you hit one of your frontline units, like even now you saw that was pretty stable, and I have this target dummy. So frontline is usually a problem, but I feel like it's okay with this comp so far. I'm playing the Riven also. I haven't been talking about it, but I have the Altruist emblem, so the Riven just gives everybody a little bit of armor. which is just fine. That's good. The whole team gets a little bit of armor. You're on the team, you know. Good job. I'm still hoping I natural another Ari at one point. Now I just commit to rolling because I just want to hit this Alawi. I'm rolling for Alawi or Zoe's or other upgrades, right? I'm selling the Nico, so I don't think I'm going to hit Nico 3. I just roll deep for the Alawi, right? I roll really deep because I'm trying to guarantee a top 4. If you look at the lobby, everybody is very close in HP. It's really difficult for me still being stuck on 7. We got stuck on 7 most of this game. How am I supposed to just justify, oh, I just, you know, easy, I just go 9 and I play Lysandra and 8 Arcanist, right? That's why this strat doesn't work necessarily well. But the thing is, rolling on 7 is good because you can hit a Lux, you can hit the Zoe, you can hit a Syndra, and you can hit a Lysandra, which I don't have. But you have good opportunities to hit like a lot of the units, right? Anyways, maybe my Lux clutches this. I don't think so though. I think I lose against the Bard player. Yeah, like look at this. Isn't this crazy? We have, I think this is a Bard 2 by the way. Where is it? I think this is a Bard 2. Right, he's level 8, 0 gold. It's a Bard 2, top Kench 3. And he's still doing really well. Right, he's still like in the game. He's not even like bot 4. He's in the top health of the game. Who would have thought? I thought they nerfed Bard, right? But they didn't. It was what I think it's like what I said. I think the nerfs aren't that substantial. Anyways, I had a Lysandra, and that's why you roll deep on 7 because eventually, I think the odds of hitting a 5 cost on level. Well, I just sold the Ari. I found a replacement Ari, so now I just transferred these items onto Lysandra because she'll definitely be better. And I'm 4 porcelain, right? Because of the spat carousel. So don't get me wrong, this 4 porcelain with this 3-star Alawi and 3-star Amumu, I am very strong now, right? This Lysandra just spiked my board by so much because 4 porcelain, the extra damage reduction, it is kind of nutty. Like look at this Alawi. Has she taken damage yet? She doesn't even have good items. She has a QSS because I didn't have anything to slam. Look at this. That's a Volibear 3 with a Radiant item, and I have just 2-star backlines, right? This Alawi is now a demon, right? With this Porcelain Emblem, and that's why it's a little bit high roll, yeah. But it's also, you can also consider it kind of low roll because for the amount of gold I rolled on 7, I still haven't hit Zoe 3, and I'm not even contested Zoe. It's not like there's another Zoe player in the lobby, right? So I definitely did not hit that hard. I don't even know what I'm rolling for now. I think I figured out, like, what am I rolling for here? I don't know what I'm rolling for. I'm rolling for the Zoes? I'm not even close to Zoe though. Well, now I am because now I'm 1 off. I don't get it. I don't know why I was rolling there. I should try and go 8 because if I go 8 I can fit in 8 Arcanist, right? I just dropped the Ribbon. If I drop the Ribbon, I can play 8 Arcanist. I don't know why I was rolling there. I think I was just stressed because I thought I was going to lose against specifically this guy. Anyways, check this out. Kaisa fucking dead. Why? Lux 2. Right? Because I'm 6 Arcanist, right? Lux 2 is insane. I might even win this fight because I don't think he has a way of killing my Alawi. Like, legitimately, I do not think anybody in the lobby can kill this unit. Okay, let's watch the 1v3, the 1v3 Alawi. Ghostly stacks are stacking. Bang, bang. Dead. Because Alawi starts to do a bunch of damage because you have to understand she's also Arcanist, right? So her also being Arcanist gives an insane amount of AP to her. So if she's like living very long, especially in overtime fights, she will eventually just kill, right? I just take Declaw for the front line. That's gonna be great. But you have to also like, if I had a Lux 3 here, don't I just win for free? I rolled so much gold on 7 and I didn't find any Luxes. Look how many Luxes I found. I found 3 Luxes total in the game. Now I'm just rolling for Zoe 3. I hit the Zoe 3. And now it's like a debate. It's like, do I play? I need a Syndra, which I probably skipped over. I wasn't paying attention if I was naturaling Syndras, right or not. Here I severely mess up my positioning, by the way. I kind of put my Zoe in the middle because I'm trying to see like where could I play my Zoe, right? If that makes sense. But I forget to move her out of the way because I wanted to move my I wanted to move this dude like somewhere like here because I wanted to try and get like a more even split because this guy might have positioned for me. But it doesn't matter because now I'm Zoe 3 6 Arcanist. I'm pretty sure I just one shot too many of his units. This guy is a faded. I think he's 5 faded. He's not 7 faded for sure, but he's 5 faded. Aphelios 3 and the other guy, and what's his name? The other guy 3. And look at this. He's just fucking dead, right? Obviously, if there was like a really strong ghostly player in the lobby, for example, or like other things, like to deal with the tank, like a Yone player, I would probably do a lot worse with. This should be moved, by the way. I'm not trying to position it here. There, I kind of zoomed in because I was like, you know, I slapped myself in the head. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, seriously, what am I doing? I'm like trolling. Anyways. If you look at the patch, you know, Arcanist small buffs is enough. I'm trying to think, like, is it worth it for me to move the Lux to try and snipe? I think I just put position like this because I think the snipers, I want to try and kill this, and then the snipers will hit maybe here or here, right? If this guy dies as well. See, so like the Sivir walked up, so now I should be aiming at the Bard. Or this, yeah. So this dies, now I should be aiming at the Bard, right? So the thing is, this comp, I think it's a Bard too. I should have checked to make sure. But it doesn't really matter to me because fuck this guy. I think it actually is probably Bard 3, no? I don't know. Hopefully I click it at one point so I can confirm my suspicions. But the Lux with the snipers, it was probably better to position opposite the Bard. But I'm just trying to find an angle, which is why I positioned that way. Because in my head I was like, okay, surely I can wrap, I kill this and this, right? And then I target the Bard because the Tahm Kench is too far in the middle, right? So I always have a clear line towards this Bard if I'm here. And so long as I can stall, because it's Tahm Kench 3 versus Alawi 3, right? So it's like as long as I can stall long enough, I should be able to snipe the Bard. Anyways, after this, I should be able to just level to 8. And then just be able to play one extra unit. I'm holding the Soraka because I do have the Altruist emblem, so I can just play 3 Altruist and make my front line even more tanky. I'd probably just take Gunblade here. Yeah. Gunblade on my Lysandra. It's also late game, so my static shivs do a bunch of damage if you remember the augment scales with the stage of the game. I have a Syndra, right? So what I could do is I can drop these 2 units, like these 2 like this, and now I'm 8 Arcanist, right? So 8 Arcanist is just built around one-shotting, right? You have so much AP that I am just gonna delete people, right? So as you can see, my front line suffered a lot, not because I'm playing a Riven, not because of just the Riven, but also because I lose Altruist, because I'm losing the Soraka as well to play the 8 thing. So as you can see, this guy ends up wrapping my back line. My front line's in shambles. This game's a mess, right? But was it even close? Full HP, almost full HP, almost full HP, full HP. Right? And this guy's board was really capped out, right? He's a 7 Ink Shadow, and he has an item augment, which is pretty much like a combat augment. So he's not even bad augments, right? And I farm a component. Fuck it, one more shiv for the fans. So now I'm just playing this 8 Arcanist. I'm frontlining this Ahri because she's not really useful for anything, right? I'm putting the Ahri on this side because my frontline isn't that great. But you just don't want to have too... If you have too small of a front line, sometimes units wrap back. And that's good if you have like a Lux carry because you're trying to like snipe. So having the units move out of the way is good. But I want them to kind of get stuck here and then maybe like re-aggro against the Amumu, if that makes sense. Right? Because this Ahri doesn't really matter in the back. It's an Ahri 1 star. She's not doing that much. So I'd rather her just bait to like make sure my front line is a little bit more full. Right? Anyways, I'm pretty sure it's Bard 3 for sure, looking at the damage. If we look at this fight was very close and I end up losing it, right? So why did I lose this fight? right? I'm gonna fight this guy again, and this is a really good teachable moment. I've been talking up about 8 Arcanist. What is 8 Arcanist good for? 8 Arcanist is good for one-shotting the opponent. Now this guy is a scaling comp, and I was not able to one-shot the Tahm Kench, right? It's not a matter of me not having shred. It's not a matter of me not having anti-heal. Trust me, I have so many shivs. I have very much shred, right? It might have been positioning, right? It might have been positioning, but the thing is, this guy is just outstalling me, right? So I do not have the damage to one shot. So what do? I switch out of 8 Arcanist because it's diminishing returns at this point, and I go back to playing 3 Altruist, because if he's like, I'm gonna stall you, it's like, let's go. I have 2 3-star front lines with 40 armor now, or 30 armor now. As you can see, my front line is outstalling his. I get the snipe, it's over, and now I win the game. That's something that you have to adapt for, right? It doesn't matter what your comp is. It doesn't matter that you have a spat for Arcanist, right? In that specific matchup, it was better for me to tech in the armor, because 3 Altruists, they all have 40 armor. Boom, win the game. It's a first. Easy clap. And that is the strength. That is the Arcanist comp. So let's go a refresh. I'll show the final board. I rolled deep on 7 for Zoe because I was uncontested Zoe. If you're contested Zoe, you can go 8 and you can try and play around Syndra, right? It's very difficult, but it's possible. If you roll deep on 7, you go for Lux, you go for Zoe, you go for Alawi, you go for a Mumu. If you hit all of them, great, it's probably a win out. If you don't hit all of them, then it's a little bit difficult. This was a first. It's not always a first. Obviously, I had Arcanist +1 and I had a Porcelain +1, so it made it a lot stronger. I did also hit a Lysandra. The approximate odds on 7, I think I calculated one time. If you're level 7, the odds of hitting a particular 5 cost is 100 gold, right? Seeing 50 shops, right? This game, I hit the Lysandra, but I don't think, I definitely rolled around 50 shops, right? I was 7 the whole game. I rolled at least 20 shops the first time. I resent it another 20 shops. It's probably a little bit high roll, right? But the idea is, if you're really stuck on 7 and you're going 8, like in that territory, like I finished the game on 8, right? Ideally, you want to go 9. You can play around Lysandra 2, you can play around Set 2. There's a lot of things you can play around. But the main thing is, I was like kind of low HP. I didn't think I can go 9. That's what makes this comp kind of fun. And I'm sure when people realize how broken Arcanists are, they already are starting to. I'm seeing a lot more people playing Arcanists in the games that I'm playing. This comp won't be fun anymore because somebody's going to get a single Zoe at the start and they're going to hard force it. And then you can't play like this flexible, fun game anymore because, you know, that's what happens in this patch. But if you do have a spot for it, which is like good AP items, good AP augments, +1 on either Porcelain or Arcanist, you can roll deep on 7 and still stabilize. And then you just have to always make sure of your matchups, right? Because 8 Arcanist is really strong, but if you cannot one-shot your opponent with your 8 Arcanist, the fight has to end fast because your front line is weak. You can always tech out 2 Arcanists. On level 8, you can tech out 2 of them. And even if you don't have an Altruist +1, you can play other frontline. You can play 4 Warden, right? You can play +2 Wardens. You can play 2 Behemoths. You can play like anything. You can just basically just play 2 really good frontline units and you're set. That's the idea. And you either go for Lux 3. If you hit Lux 3, you itemize Lux. If you hit Zoe 3, you itemize Zoe. If you hit both, good for you. If you don't hit either of them, you can itemize Syndra. Very flexible. I always like this comp. It's just a lot more stable now with the recent buffs, so expect to see it a lot more. And that was the point of this video. Have fun. Let me know in the comments if you have success with Arcanist. Love this comp, and probably will try my best to play it a lot more because it was actually a very fun game. See ya.